The best AI generated movies are actually not bad, that they're kind of good.
Oh, lad, let me tell you a story about being damned.
Can these films rival Hollywood films? What is the future of AI in filmmaking? In about 2 years' time, any creator could launch their own movies in a week. What are we gonna do about this? Good day, Internet. My name is Evan. In the last 48 hours, I've spent my time trying to find AI-generated films, and then I also spent almost 6 hours trying to watch them all, mostly by force. I wanted to know if it's the right time to get into filmmaking with AI at the technology's current state. Now, my expectations were very low, but then I was surprised because there are actually several dozens of AI films right now that are, well, they're watchable. What I did find is that the quality are as varied as mainstream movies in Hollywood.
There's nothing like humans playing live. Pure soul, bro.
One peculiar thing I've noticed is that some of the bad ones were still entertaining, like the Terminator 2 remake.
I am in 1995.
Your mission is to find John Connor. He is the leader of the liberation against the machine army.
I will find John Connor. I must first find a bar.
There were some really golden scenes right here, even though the animation was pretty shit. And then surprisingly, there were also films where they were entertaining because they were bad. And here's a major thing, I found that humor works really well at this stage of AI development, because if it's funny, you care less about the imperfections as opposed to maybe like a love story or drama where even minor distortions could ruin the cinematic quality. Horror appears to be a good genre too, and you probably know why. Like this one is called Rabid Soul and it's disturbingly creepy. I had to hype myself to watch it, but if anything, the distortions here make the horror film even scarier. These films were on average 4 to 5 minutes in length. Some are 20 minutes. One of them was an hour long. Now, if we're gonna talk about flaws, there's a lot. It seems that the primary culprit for a bad AI movie is simply bad storytelling. A lot of the people who are trying out these tools, they're just trying to create the story as well as they can with the limited knowledge they have. But creators who have background in filmmaking seem to be able to create better results. Now, the second common flaw that I've found are the distortions. You see this a lot when watching these types of videos. Ask any AI video creator and they'll tell you that most of the outputs are always distorted. These distortions are mostly found in the eyes and mouths. But also when moving, you'd have to cherry pick from tons of generations to be able to find one that looks decent. I guess this is the state where AI video is in. You'd either have to cherry pick from a ton of failed generations, which is quite expensive by the way, or you just accept the distortions as part of the movie. Even creators like Bible in a Nutshell, who has been doing this for quite some time, still can't help but include these distorted animations in their videos. Now, the most ingenious of creators are able to find ways to integrate these flaws into their movie. Like this one. Since the setting is in a dream, you could have all the distortions and abominations and it won't harm the story. But that's a challenge in and of itself because not all story genres can blend well with distortions like this.
Counting nights and weekends.
Another common flaw that I found is that the audio and the mouth movement appear to be out of sync. So you see footage like this.
Hi? I'm not sure if you understand me, but I can't actually... That doesn't make any sense.
Can these films rival Hollywood films? I don't think we're there yet. But I think we're closer than one might think because the best AI generated movies are actually not bad, that they're kind of good. And you have to understand that the latest AI video generation models have just arrived very recently. By the way, if you're interested in watching the AI short films that I've watched, I have a page on my website with all the 33 videos listed. Check it out below. Now, what do I see? What is the future of AI in filmmaking? Take everything I say with a grain of salt because I have no expertise outside of being a movie lover. But I will say this, AI 100% will be an integral part of filmmaking, and here's why. It's just so useful. There are so many things that it can do so much faster it's hard to believe that it won't come to that point where it's necessary for film studios across the world to adopt this technology. But what really excites me is the notion that anyone could create a feature film in their bedroom in a week or a month. In fact, just check out these AI videos from last year. They're pretty terrible. And if we compare that with what you've seen today, the difference is monumental. And if we're gonna continue with this pace, we're actually accelerating. I predict that in about 2 years' time, that's gonna happen. Now, the big question is, what are we gonna do about this? Well, you could be a consumer, there are tons of movies for you to enjoy, or you could decide to walk the same path as me, which is to start creating your own movies, which I highly recommend if you have the drive. I mean, we all have stories to tell, don't we? If you ever plan to start doing this eventually, I think it's best to start now while the technology is at its infancy. There are tons of available tutorials here on YouTube, and most people will ignore them for now because they think the quality is shit and all that, but the skills you learn today will pave the way for you to thrive later on. By the way, in another video, I gave a commentary on the top 5 best and top 5 worst AI films created. Furthermore, I'm also going to be making tutorials on AI-powered movie making from here on, so consider subscribing.